Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening and welcome to a special vlog today. First time I'm doing this. This is the new Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 Standard Edition, and today we'll be doing a short cross-country flight in a way from Wilson Airport to Kedong Airport, just outside the Rift Valley, which is also just outside the zone boundary of Nairobi, Wilson Airport. Um, So we'll be cruising at about 9,500 and we're estimating a flying time of about 9 minutes. So yeah, I do hope you enjoy the vlog, and if you like the videos, please give it a thumbs up, like and subscribe to the channel. Hopefully I'll be posting more of these as I get more time. Okay, I'll just click ready to fly and just switch the cockpit to upper position. Okay, as you can see, our mixture is set. I'll just lean it a bit. Set the Q&A sheet to 9.84 in inches, so giving us an altitude currently of 5,520 feet. The standard operating procedure out of Nairobi is a takeoff from runway 14. You do a gradual 15 degrees bank turn to a heading of 330, and once above the threshold of runway 07, we will make a left turn to heading 290. Proceed past Gong Racecourse and then make our set course to Kedong Airport. I won't be using autopilot on this flight because it's just a 9-minute flight, but I do have on the G1000 the airport route, the route to the airport marked, just so I can follow it. But yeah, as you can see, the weather is a bit gloomy, rainy. We seem to be having a crosswind from the left. Doesn't seem to be too high, too strong. On the G1000, I'll just put the wind. Yeah, relatively a crosswind from the left hand side of 3 knots, which is not too much. Normally when I've flown on taken off from runway 14, I've had sometimes crosswinds of 10 knots. The worst I've had is crosswind of 20 knots on runway 07, and I will tell you that it is not a pleasant experience flying in very strong crosswinds. So hats off to the pilots who make safe landings with such crosswinds. Anyway, we can release the parking brake. Landing lights are on, as you can even see on the side, and slowly advance the power to full power. Should be rotating at about 60 knots. We'll do a flapless takeoff, so we should rotate at about 60 to 65 knots on the indicated airspeed. As you can see, the visibility is very low, so that's why I chose to fly the Cessna G1000. Otherwise, this flight was initially going to be the number 1. Okay, we have 60 knots. I will slowly rotate, and up we are. And we do have a positive rate of 200 feet a minute. Continue past the southern bypass, which I will show you right now. The southern bypass is basically this road that is we're flying over. And once we pass over this road, we will make a right turn to a heading of 330 while continuing our climb. If we took off with flaps, we put the flaps off now because we are more than 300 feet above the ground, and that is not really the prescribed safety altitude, but it is.
Continue for west departure. I will contact you next when you leave my airspace.
It is just good procedures to. It's a good altitude to take your flaps up.
Wilson Tower, Cessna 5 Yankee, Kilo Sierra Delta, continue for west departure.
But remember, once flaps are up, the aircraft will have a tendency to sink, so you do have to hold that back pressure. As you can see, we have no visual of any part of Nairobi at the moment, so I will just continue to a heading of 330. I do have visual of the airport, and we do also have the marker. So we have a 325, I'll begin rolling out to capture 330. Now we're on 330. We will fly just over the threshold of runway 07, an estimate only. On the G1000 primary flight display, you can see that we have the airport below us. So I will use that as a reference. Okay, so we are relatively over the threshold of runway 07. We'll make a left turn to heading 290, which should set us directly course for Gong race course. But obviously with such visibility conditions, we most definitely will not see Gong race course. And roll out at 290. From here we'll proceed. Unfortunately I have no visual of Gong race course, but there seems to be a bit of a clearing of trees over there, so probably beyond that is Gong race course. So once I get overhead Gong race course, I will make a left, basically to head directly to Kedong airstrip. This will be my first time landing in Kedong airstrip. I have taken off from it in the simulator, and it does seem like a challenging airstrip, but this will be the first time actually coming into it. Below us you can see is Kibera slums actually. If you look down, those are actually the slums. Wilson Airport is situated right next to Kibera slums, and if you are doing the circuit of runway 14, you fly directly overhead the Kibera slums. Okay, we've reached the patch of trees over here. We'll make a left turn and set course for Kedong Airport. Should be arriving in about the next 9 minutes. I will continue a climb, current at 6,700. We'll continue to about, I will keep it at about 7,500 to 8,000 feet because I don't want to get too high into the clouds. You can fly above the clouds, but that would be considered as VFR above the clouds. And I don't want to do that because this airstrip is a bit difficult to spot. So I will just maintain some sort of visual content of the ground. Visual, yeah. I will just get my cabin heat and window heat on, just because I feel that the cockpit is fogging up a bit. And the outside air temperature is currently 27 degrees, which, yeah, we shouldn't be experiencing ice, but still, just for safety, we'll put the carb heat on. So now we're setting course for Kedong airstrip. I'm not sure the identifier is Hotel Kilo Papa Delta. That is okay. So yeah, we're currently climbing through 7,300 feet with a climb rate of about 750 feet a minute. Ideally with this Cessna, I would personally climb at about 550 feet to 600 a minute, depending on the road.
Delta, you are leaving my airspace. Frequency change approved. Wilson Tower, Cessna 5 Yankee, Kilo Sierra Delta, frequency change. Nairobi approach, Cessna 5 Yankee, Kilo Sierra Delta is type Cessna Skyhawk 7 miles west of Wilson. Request flight following.
Currently have no visual of the ground.
Yankee, Kilo Sierra Delta, Nairobi approach. Squawk 0041.
This is actually meant to be a VFR flight, but as you can see, we are flying in IMC conditions. So that's when the G1000 becomes completely helpful, because we have the synthetic vision on the PFD, we have the terrain on the other flight display. So this is where this G1000 becomes really useful. If we were using the 152 or the Super Cub, we would probably have to abort the flight.
0041 Cessna Kilo Sierra Delta.
I'll just level off over here and keep the RPMs at about 2300 RPM. fuel flow is in the greens, and the RPM I'll leave it at 2300. Now I hope we do break through the clouds, because if we don't, I do not have an alternate plan, but the other option would be to head towards Naivasha, because I believe Naivasha has clearer weather, and we could probably do a landing at Barton's airstrip
Cessna
or...
Kilo Sierra Delta radar, contact 900 miles west of Wilson, 7,600 feet. Altimeter 29.84.
So obviously I've set my AI to
Copy, Cessna
control
Kilo
my
Sierra
radio
Delta.
comms, but whenever they give you the QNH, always just confirm, as good practice, that you have the right QNH set, because trust me,
Hotel
they make a
Kilo
big
Papa
difference.
Delta, traffic Cessna 5 Yankee, Kilo Sierra Delta 10 miles east, 7,600 feet inbound to land runway 17.
It seems to be getting a bit clearer, but I doubt if we get to Kedong airstrip, I don't think we will have visual on it, so I need to plan where to go next. We have enough fuel to make our alternate into Naivasha, but let's just see if we can manage. We still have about 8 nautical miles to go, so I do believe that we will be able to see this airstrip. So what we could do is I'll put up the VFR map, and with the VFR map I will zoom out and let's see where exactly we can head. Naivasha's airstrip itself is quite far. We could I'm not sure, we can try Kijabe, but yeah, let's see. Actually, it seems to be clearing up, so let's see if we can have visual. If I do have even a bit of visual on the airstrip, I will obviously attempt to land. As you can see, Microsoft has done a very good job in terms of the scenery. It's very helpful when doing VFR flights, and also the weather. As you can see, pretty good weather. So we're coming into some sunlight, so I can switch off the cabin heat and carburetor heat. So the airstrip is now 5 nautical miles away. So obviously before landing I will carry out a visual inspection of the runway, just to see exactly where it is, what the winds are, and which runway would favor me most at landing. Just give you guys an external view of the aircraft. As you can see, we've gotten out of that weather and now coming to clear-ish skies. If I'm not wrong, Kedong airstrip should be on this ridge over here, or maybe it's the next ridge. We'll zoom in on my G1000. Yeah, I believe it's ahead of this ridge, so I believe we will have visual of the airstrip before we land. So I'll just throttle down to 2000 RPM to commence a descent. And there we have our visual aid, 3.5 nautical miles, so I believe we should be able to land. This airstrip is a very short airstrip. I'm not too sure if the caravans can make it, but I certainly believe that this 172 has enough distance to stop safely. If not, obviously, heavy brakes on, switch the parking brake on, and hope everything goes well. So when we reduce power, the aircraft has a tendency to dive the nose, so we will just trim it up a bit so that the nose doesn't dive too much, but monitoring our airspeed that we do not get into a stall. Okay, and we've made it through. So I'll just neutral the trim and just see if I can switch my cockpit position to the lower position. still not in visual yet, but just add a bit of power so I don't stall the aircraft. Okay, it should be on that ridge over there, so I will head on straight and then make a steep left turn and align myself for final approach. Since it's a short airstrip, we will be using full flaps just so that we can come in at a slower speed without stalling the aircraft. So once the speed, indicated airspeed, gets in the white region, I will put my flaps to 10 degrees. So I might as well just give myself full flaps now and have a slow approach so that I know exactly where I'm coming to. And whenever you add flaps, obviously you have to add power because there will be some form of drag. I can begin my base, left base turn. I currently don't exactly know where the runway is, but I'm just estimating looking at my G1000 and looking at the terrain because I know it's situated on the top of a hill. Okay, so I have it visual. It is a very interesting runway. And there we have the airstrip visual. So this is a relatively flat approach. 500 from the G1000. Keeping wings level, always touch down with wings level if you can. Okay, and once I get over the quote-unquote threshold, I will choke power. Okay, choking power, and then just holding the nose and making sure we flare. And touchdown. Apply brakes because I did touch down a bit late. And brakes released. And there you have it, guys. A short 9 to 10 minute cross country from Wilson Airport, Nairobi to Kedong Airport, just outside Nairobi's zone boundary. So I'll just park the aircraft somewhere on this side. Don't want to park it over there because if I have to start and I'll use too much power getting over that hill. So let's park it over here. And remember, just use differential braking when turning the aircraft, it just makes it easier. Okay, I think I'm satisfied with this. So power down to 1000 RPM. Roughly 1000. And we'll do mag drop, a mag check, dead cut. So you quickly switch the key to off and back to both. Be careful not to take it into start because you will mess up the starter motor. Okay, the engine did cut off and that's a good sign. So we will go with avionics off and all lights. We can switch off our landing lights and our strobe lights. Nav and beacon will leave on and we will put fuel mixture to idle cutoff. And there we have it. Flight was finished. As you can see, it was actually a 14-minute flight from the moment we started the flight at Wilson. So yeah guys, I hope you enjoyed that flight and I do look forward to showing you more flights around Kenya. Thank you very much guys, have a good evening and stay safe.